Fans Beyond Wrestling, this is Denver, Colorado, the man, not the place. We've got some more action from the Ringleaders taping, bringing you a match that was actually made only moments ago. This is Pinkie Sanchez's birthday weekend. He was not even scheduled to compete at the Ringleaders taping. He was coming to hang out and have a good time because his shoulder is pretty banged up. But believe it or not, he heard Leon Admon talking some shit about his sister in the back to some of the other wrestlers, and well, it looks like Pinkie Sanchez is looking to bring him into the ring to teach him a lesson about running his mouth. Now, Leon Admon making his debut for Beyond Wrestling about 6 months ago. One of the students introduced at the developmental hell taping by Corvus Fear. And unlike some of the other students, unlike somebody like Tim Hughes, Leon Admon has had a very negative attitude. He almost has a sense of entitlement. He feels like he deserves a lot more, but he hasn't really proved himself yet. So he's got a great test right now, probably the biggest match of his young career, going up against Pinkie Sanchez. And there you hear him saying his sister was hitting him up on Facebook. Pinkie Sanchez, you know, he's laughing it off right here in front of the other wrestlers, but you know it's going to bother him enough if he decided that he was going to compete in this contest, even hurt. I mean, there we see that shoulder, it's taped up. Pinkie had a nasty spill at a CZW event about a week ago. His arm's cut up. I don't know what sort of damage is done to the muscle or any of the tissue beyond that. But he's got that protective tape. And you've got to think that if Admon is smart, he's going to be trying to exploit that, but he might just lack the experience to do so. Now Pinkie looking to tie up that Greco-Roman knuckle lock. And just like that, as Admon goes to shoot for the legs, Pinkie embarrassing him by sending him face first down to the mat and kicking him in the rear end. It's going to be a long night for Admon, I can tell you that right now. Sanchez looking to tie up once again, and this time Admon able to grab the wrist, applying enough pressure to bring Pinkie down to his knees. But this is going to be a relatively easy hold for Pinkie to escape from. And there you can see Admon trying to add a bit of a level of difficulty, applying that hammerlock, but Pinkie able to counter with the side headlock, and now it's Pinkie that's applying pressure to the wrist and just using that to drive Admon down to the mat. Pinkie's not looking to trade holds tonight. He's looking to make a statement. You know, Beyond Wrestling, we have an environment that encourages learning, growth. You know, bullying is typically not tolerated, but I do think that Admon he crossed the line with the things he was saying about Pinkie's sister. You know, I'll say that without a bias. I don't think that the things that he was saying were probably the most appropriate to be shared with some of the other wrestlers on ringside. So I can understand why Pinkie would be upset. And, you know, rather than handling his business like a man outside, you know, let's get it done in the ring. We don't want the cops called. We don't want the taping shut down. That's just one man's opinion. And if you don't want to hear this man's opinion, guess what, guys? You can watch this match in its entirety without the commentary track from Denver, Colorado. It's linked in the description of this video. If you're lucky, we might even put an annotation so you can link it directly. I'm not sure how much longer this match is going to be going on with maneuvers like that. Pinkie just stomping Admon's head into the mat and taking him down with that back elbow. But take a look. Pinkie's not going for a pin. And now grabbing Admon by his hair and just hitting him with his posterior and posing for some of the other wrestlers around ringside. Again, just running, stomping right in the chest of Admon instead of going for that pin. Oh, and he caught him in the back and then catching him with the butt. Now the first pinfall attempt in this contest. Admon's out. You know, I gotta say, if Admon is somehow able to pull off the victory over Pinkie Sanchez, not only will it be the biggest win of his career, but perhaps it'll validate his attitude, this sense of entitlement, this air of accomplishment that he presents when he's at the Beyond Wrestling tapings. As unlikely as it may seem, he would certainly be sending a statement to the other wrestlers on the roster. I mean, that's why he's here in Beyond Wrestling. He wants to be able to move up the ranks in professional wrestling. I'm not sure how much it's going to help him with a match like this being put out for the world to see, where he's basically getting humiliated by a veteran. Perhaps he'll be more careful with some of the words he chooses while the cameras are not rolling next time. Sanchez allowing his opponent to get to a vertical base. The referee, Brett Lauderdale, checking on him. As these two circle each other once again. This time, Admon with that side headlock. Oh yeah, pointing with his temple. He's so smart for applying a side headlock from that position. One of the first wrestlers to ever come up with it, I'm sure. A true innovator here at Beyond Wrestling. Pinkie planting those elbows to the midsection. It's going to be looking for some separation. He's going to be using the momentum off the ropes to send St. Giovanni for the ride, but we had a mid-ring collision. Both competitors taken down to the mat. Hard to tell from my vantage point, but they might have knocked heads. Or might even been Pinkie suffering the pain, having his shoulder collided into. Was enough to take him down, and perhaps that's displaying some of the weakness that he has coming into this match. Again, not scheduled to compete this weekend. I don't know. You don't really know with Pinkie Sanchez. You really never know with this guy. I do know what I saw, and that was a leg lariat that did not find the mark from Admon. It was still enough to take Pinkie down, but it was not as effective as it could have been. And now, even as he connects with these right hands, you see Pinkie moving around the ring. This time he finds himself back first in the corner. And that last chop is only served to fire up Pinkie Sanchez. Pinkie asking for another one, but before Admon can deliver it, Pinkie Sanchez going for the eyes and delivering a chop of his own. A much more deliberate pace than we're used to seeing out of Pinkie Sanchez. And really laying in with those chops. Can Pinkie Sanchez, even though he's a veteran for a number of years, he comes into every match as the underdog because of his diminished size. But in a contest like this, he's still got that veteran edge. He's going to be careful, though. He doesn't want to get disqualified by referee Brett Lauderdale. Looks like the referee's going to let it slide. It's up to his discretion. You got to think that if this match starts to get out of hand, though, it's going to be best to look out for the interest of Admon's safety. But we haven't crossed that line yet, and I don't think that Pinkie will do that. I could be wrong. Now Pinkie, he's got that rear chinlock applied. He's got the body scissors on as well. Those legs are not fully grapevine. More so to keep himself in position so that Admon has to carry his weight. And because he did not lock the legs, he was able to transition into this ab stretch rather easily. And now Pinkie stroking the leg. And now the chest of Admon, perhaps making him regret wanting to ever get with anybody in the Sanchez family. And what is Pinkie doing right there? And now with that backbreaker, certainly having a lot of fun at Admon's expense. Really embarrassing him. Again, in front of all the other wrestlers, as well as the worldwide audience watching here at youtube.com/beyondwrestling. Easy for me to say. Sanchez again measuring up Admon and chopping away. Admon firing back quickly, but not nearly as much behind it. Pinkie's going to reel it on the ropes. Admon responding with one of his own. Admon finding that European uppercut, and that finally seems to be an effective strike that's working for him. Now a couple of those backhands, and the third one finds the mark. It's going to be coming off the ropes just to run into a big boot from Pinkie Sanchez. Pinkie firmly in the driver's seat for this whole contest. Nothing more than an exhibition. Perhaps Pinkie Sanchez thinking of going for a pin. Not a lot behind that cover. Now a little bit more pressure applied in that lateral press. And the third one, forcing Admon to expend the energy to kick out. Now the fourth attempt at that. Pinkie going for a fifth attempt. Really just trying to wear down his opponent. Finally, Admon, smart enough to try and roll out of position. Connecting with a shot to the midsection and to the face. Pinkie stops him right there with that elbow. And again. A big chop from Pinkie Sanchez. Admon's chest has to be on fire. He's been on the receiving end of 2 or 3 dozen chops in this contest already. Admon trying to find that separation, holding on to the ropes, going out to the floor. Perhaps he's going to be rethinking his strategy, although, again, I don't think he came into this match with the strategy. He was a standby wrestler for the weekend, and again, he was challenged right there in front of everybody. It's not something that we were able to catch on camera. He didn't have much time to prepare for this. Basically enough time to put on his tights and get in the ring. Oh, and Pinkie Sanchez catching him on the ropes. Taking too much time getting in the ring. And now going for that dragon screw. I don't know if it was more effective on the knee or the groin. And Pinkie connected with that super kick right on the face. Leon's all tied up in the ropes. And now just being driven head first onto the hardest part of the ring. And he's in a bad place on the floor. The other wrestlers are proving of what they've seen so far. Admon, I'm not even sure he knows where he is right now. That was a rough landing for him. Now getting driven face first into one of those steel chairs by ringside. Some of the other wrestlers knowing it's going to be smart to get out of the way. Pinkie just positioning that chair in his head. And just throwing another chair. Not sure if Admon was able to get his hands up to protect himself, but he's in a bad spot right now. And now we're finally starting to get in the territory of perhaps Pinkie taking advantage of his opponent. You know, I understand that it got very personal very quickly, but that's not something that we want to see, especially knowing how outmatched Admon is. Now Pinkie setting him in that chair. Pinkie's going outside. Well, hopping over Nick Talent, landing on the platform, and just stomping away at the groin once again of Admon. That's going to make it very hard for Admon to get with Pinkie's sister once again.
Pinkie, you got her first at some point. How am I going to fuck your sister? Move that shit. Move that shit.
Pinkie's not done. Oh! And now with the chair wedged in between the legs of Admon, just smashing another one.
Well, there's certain things you don't do. Cool, he fucking shot me so hard I'm bleeding. I don't even notice.
You're going to think that Pinkie Sanchez was going to be talking about that Admon shouldn't have been running his mouth about his sister. Instead, surprised by the fact that Admon had cut him with one of the chops. As we took a closer look at that gash on Pinkie's shoulder, he's really going to be careful. As much as he's toying with his opponent, all it's going to take is for Admon to find that one opening to really capitalize and exploit that injury. Admon kicking away at Pinkie's face, trying to go for a sunset flip. He's exposed the ass of Pinkie Sanchez. Now he's striking away at it. But Pinkie coming off the apron, and he hit him with the booties for breakfast with his ass out. Just adding more insult to injury. Pinkie's still having fun.
No screeners. This one straight to DVD.
Ah, and now just giving him the dirty Sanchez. Taking some time to drink some water. And just drive away once again at that abdomen, the midsection, with the chair.
Said he was going to fuck his sister, man. I mean, if somebody said they were going to fuck my sister, I would definitely try and break a bunch of chairs.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Son of a bitch.
Admon connecting with the elbow. Pinkie's barely even phased. I mean, Admon has just had so much taken out of him. But again, his best opportunity is going to be with those European uppercuts. Now sending Pinkie in a position. He's going to be looking to come off the ropes for a dive, but got caught up on the ropes. Got caught up on the ropes and was not as effective as he could have been with that maneuver. Another rookie mistake from Admon, and instead Pinkie Sanchez was able to catch his balance in the chairs and just threw another chair at the face of Admon. That could have really been his opportunity to capitalize in this match, and he blew it. You got to think that when Admon can get the courage to go back and watch this tape, he's going to see a lot of the mistakes that he's making. And hopefully it's going to make him a better wrestler. That's the purpose of this project. I mean, right there, learning from his mistake, and found himself in a position where he could more effectively hit that dive. But how much did he take out of himself? Again, Admon, he doesn't have that level of experience as Pinkie Sanchez where he can just come into a contest unprepared. Admon was trying to bring Pinkie back into the ring. Pinkie instead trying to send him face first into the apron. Pinkie's so smart. Every time that Admon starts to build some momentum, he basically just puts himself in a position where he finds that separation. And Admon coming off the top, Pinkie just spitting in his face. His tribute to Muda. And now Pinkie, maybe enough's enough. Maybe he's going to look to put Admon away. Really not much of that kick out. Admon is on his last legs. And such a disrespectful pin. And another one. Pinkie certainly sent a message here. Big open hand shot from Pinkie. Admon with a couple shots to the body. Again with the backhand. The European uppercut finds the mark. And Pinkie in with another running big boot. Admon's lucky that he got caught with that in the corner. By the ropes, because he was able to hold himself up rather than go crashing down to the mat. Able to duck out of the way of the clothesline. Just gets caught with another kick, running right into it. Pinkie is basically nothing more than the puppet master in this contest, just pulling the strings. Giving Admon a false sense of security at every pass. And again, Pinkie Sanchez focusing the attack on the midsection. And instead of going to the top rope, he's going to be choking the life out of Admon. And breaking the hold before he's disqualified. Even at this point, if Pinkie was disqualified, the message has been sent. And you know what? I gotta say, Admon, he might be lucky that he ran his mouth with somebody like Pinkie Sanchez, who's gonna teach him a lesson like this in the ring instead of doing something more severe. I mean, we've got some pretty rough dudes on the roster. What if Admon had said something like that about the pit boss? He'd probably find himself. He probably wouldn't find himself. He'd probably get killed. Admon, able to find. I'll tell you what he did find. He did find that tornado DDT. And Pinkie landed on that bad shoulder as well as on his head. Again, the longer that Pinkie toys with him, the more opportunities he's going to get for Admon to make a comeback. Just like that, the reversal of the Irish whip. Admon able to avoid contact twice and kicking out the knee from underneath Sanchez. Sanchez again driven headfirst down to the mat. And now Admon going for that knee. You gotta think it would be best to exploit that shoulder, but he did land that drop kick. And now perhaps thinking his best bet's gonna be to try and find a submission on that leg.
Let me face the crowd.
Well, Pinkie Sanchez, it doesn't look like he's in too bad of a spot. Admon trying to reposition him away from the ropes, but I'm not sure that Sanchez is really in any danger of tapping out right here. Hard to tell from here if Pinkie Sanchez is putting up a front or if he's really in pain. I mean, Admon has had that hold cinched in for about 30 seconds. Pinkie Sanchez not flat on his stomach, though, so not nearly as much pressure. Although his leg is being twisted in a somewhat uncomfortable position, not only being bent back, but also being twisted to the side at the knee. You're going to wonder if Pinkie was more serious about getting out of this hold a few moments ago when it was first applied. If perhaps he wouldn't have been doing more damage to himself. Sanchez willing himself to the ropes. And there you see the other wrestlers trying to pull him. And Sanchez finally at the ropes. Admon's going to be forced to break the hold. But realistically, how much damage was done? I mean, Pinkie, the left side of Pinkie's body is going to be in pretty bad shape right now. Now again, just stomping away. Again, if there was a governing body here in Beyond Wrestling, you got to think that somebody would have told Pinkie, despite his conflict with Admon, it probably wasn't in the best interest to get in the ring today. I mean, a more dangerous competitor would have tore him to shreds. But somebody as inexperienced as Admon, I mean, not posing a serious threat, at least not yet. Oh, but then again, the way he just jammed up Pinkie's leg across that rope. Now Admon. That's the swagger that we were used to seeing from him. The first time, it only took him 20 minutes to finally get comfortable to where he needs to be. Taken away once again at the knee. And again, trying to buckle that leg. Building momentum across the ring, and as he goes in for the drop kick, Pinkie leaps up and over him.
That was Matrix shit.
Pinkie stumbling around. I think he's made his point clear. But perhaps he's going to be looking to do one more thing to humiliate Admon before this match is officially over. Now pulling down his trunks. Admon doesn't even know where he is right now. Series of elbows in the corner. Another chop for good measure. I mean, Pinkie could be here all night. And now just rubbing his dirty ass all over Admon's face. This guy's been wrestling 20 minutes. You can only imagine the amount of swamp ass that's been built up. And Pinkie stinks as it is. Fresh out of a shower. He smells like he comes from a place that's always hot. And the referee finally asserting himself, but all he did was push Pinkie ass first into Admon. And Pinkie is crazed. You gotta hope that this is the last time that Admon's gonna say anything about anybody's sister. Now Pinkie mugging to the camera. Hard to make out what he's saying, but if I had to take a guess, it's probably, if you're still watching this match, then please make it a point to subscribe to youtube.com/beyondwrestling, where we put up our free match every week, far often more competitive than the bout that you've endured thus far. And we've got some of the best athletes in the country on the roster, but this project was started to give young guys like Admon a chance to learn on the job. Perhaps not putting up a performance that would be acceptable, let's say, in front of a paying crowd, but, hey man, let's take the fruit of our labor, let's put them on YouTube.
2, 3.
And Pinkie Sanchez finally putting Admon away with that shining hiney.